Let's talk now to Deven Ghelani, Director of the Policy and Practice think tank, one of the architects of the government's universal credit policy. Deven, thank you so much for joining me. People are really about to feel the sting. I mean, from next week, things are going up and it's dramatic for families. Very dramatic, not to mention traumatic. Are we safe in the hands of Rachel Reeves, do you think?
Absolutely. Well, you said it was an awful April. It's going to be a terrible Tuesday when all of these prices do go up.
It is.
I'm not sure whose hands we would be safe in, given the legacy of the last 15 years, as we've just heard. But I think if you go back, so for me, I've been working in policy for about 15 years. I remember when I started policy and practice in 2013, I thought we've got 2 years of austerity. It's pretty tough times, but we get through those 2 years, it's going to get better. And then I said that 2 years after that, and I said that 2 years after that.
Why didn't it get better in 2 years as you hoped and thought it would? Why did it not? What was the kind of unexpected alteration in your prognosis?
Well, we've continued to squeeze, really. I mean, I think the tough decisions that the one good thing about what we've got right now, which is a Labour government with a strong majority, is that latter part. It's a strong majority, so they should be in a position where they can make tough decisions, like investing in house building, like potentially even taking on some of our sacred cows, like the triple lock. You know, that was there to get pensions up to a reasonable level. If we've achieved that, could we look at that again? Otherwise, we are going to have to deal with spending cuts in public services or tax rises. So I think if the government's in a position to make some of those difficult decisions, I would be doing that right now. It feels like that's some of what's happening, and that's the pain that we're going to feel this year.
Let me ask you about something, because you just said the word feel, which you don't necessarily think you're going to hear from an economist or the director of a think tank. So I'm glad you used that word, because I want to talk about that. Very much a part of the kind of engine that fires the economy is the feel good factor or the feel bad factor. You know, if you're feeling optimistic, if you're feeling as if your family's to some extent is winning, you know, you might go and buy a new car, you might go and book a holiday, you might change the curtains in the bedroom. If you're feeling beleaguered and afraid and destabilized and worried like hell, and all your bills are going up at once, you're not spending any money at all. In fact, what you're desperately trying to do is claw back so that you're not going to go under, because people are quite rightly very worried indeed about this. So how is it possible, or indeed is it possible, to grow an economy when the feel good factor has utterly evaporated and instead there's a fear factor going on?
Yeah, so let's talk about why that's happened. So I think there are some pretty bad decisions, I would say. You know, taking jobs away is kind of the effect of combination of changes to employment law, increases in the national living wage, and the national employer sort of tax increase. Now, can employers stomach that? Yes, they can, but they're going to make different decisions as a result. There's going to be fewer jobs around. That is just the net effect of that. For your listeners, I do think there are some things they can do. So I think kind of shopping around is the first thing. If you've got any contract changes, have a look around for the best deal. For those that are struggling, I would definitely say contact your utility company or your local authority or whichever bill you're struggling to pay first and early. A lot of people wait 18 months and they're in trouble. I would say, you know, if you're in that position now, I would get on the phone. Companies, local authorities, others do have support in place for people. So if you're struggling with energy debt, they will help you either with bill support or with measures to help improve water efficiency, energy efficiency. And to the government, I'd say, you know, there are some really good initiatives going around. So we've just been involved in an auto enrollment program where local authorities are proactively identifying people who are struggling to pay their bills today and actually giving them lower water bills as a result, because water, you know, it's a way to reach them. And hopefully we get to see that scale across London, across the UK. And it's been, you know, I just want to say it is tough, but for people who are feeling the pinch, I'd be kind of being proactive about seeking out support.
Thank you very much for the advice, and actually really good advice. It's very hard, I think, to get practical, decent advice about how to claw back or how to survive when your finances begin to really cave in around your ears. So thank you for that, Deven, very much indeed. Hope to talk to you again. That's Deven Ghelani, their Director of the Policy and Practice think tank. Okay, it's over to you, lovely listener.